You're listening to the Ballet Piano Podcast, lifting the lid on dance accompaniment.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to this episode of the Ballet Piano Podcast. My name is Chris Hobson, and around the coffee table with me it's not the coffee table, it's the dining table, sorry. Around the dining table with me is Akiko Hobson.
Hello.
Matt Gregory.
Hola.
That put me up. And David Yeo.
Hello, everyone.
And ladies and gentlemen, this is the final episode for 2024. Woohoo!
Oh, Matt hasn't done it.
Are you turning it the right way? Turn it left.
I am turning it left. David can see me turning it left.
Hey!
Oh my god.
Oh, that was very flaccid.
That was the most anticlimactic,
Right,
flaccid.
So for those of you who are not watching on email, those of you who are not watching us, Matt and I have just set off a glitter cannon.
And Chris, who is going to clean this?
Hazel.
I get bullied into these things.
I know. This is what happens when I've got a morning off work. Right, ladies and gentlemen.
He even did a dry run with his cannon.
I did a dry run yesterday, Akiko, when you were out at work. Right, ladies and gentlemen, this episode, we've got something special for you. It is question time. See, I prepped the production on this episode before we started.
More
Chris.
than your questions, probably.
Chris, you listen to Radio X too much.
Right, so every now and then we'll do an episode where we take questions from listeners and things like that, as you've heard recently. But we thought you might just like to hear us talking to each other and asking each other questions. Some of them can be quite pointed, I'm guessing. Some of them are a bit of a generalisation. Can I start off?
Yeah.
Because this is a bit of a throwback to when we first started doing In Conversations in 2021, I think it was, or 2020. And I'd like to ask the table.
Go on then. I don't think it's going to answer back.
Oh my God. I'd like to ask everybody around the table, what professional advice would you give your 20-year-old self? Now, I know we used to use this question, but I'd like us all to answer it, and I'll answer it as well, because I think it'd be fun to know what we would say.
20 years old yourself.
Yeah, so your 20-year-old self, what professional advice would you give your 20-year-old self?
Be patient. I had no patience when I was younger at all. Everything had to be now.
Yeah.
And that's why I was in trouble all the time.
We can't believe you were in trouble.
Oh, yeah.
Matt.
Well, 20, I wasn't playing for class then. I was in my third year.
It doesn't matter. What advice would you
my
give?
20-year-old
What advice would you give
self?
your 20-year-old self?
Oh, probably have more sex. Or less. Depending on,
Which month it was.
Yeah.
Which time of the month it was. Kiko, what about you?
You know, this is definitely this. Do not come to England. Beginning of disaster.
Why are you looking at me? Do you know what advice I would give my younger self is learn when to shut up? Because that was a lesson that
Still learning.
I'm still learning it, and I probably will continue to learn it. But it took me, if I'd have known when to speak up and when to shut up, that would have probably benefited me at some point.
That's a good life lesson though, isn't it?
Yeah. I just wish I'd have learned it earlier. I think maybe because I started a bit early, I wish I'd have learned that earlier. Matt, you've got pointed questions for people around the table.
Some really good questions.
Why don't you pick somebody and go for them?
Akiko, would you like a funny one or a serious one?
I don't mind. Up to you.
Okay. Mrs. Hobson,
Yes.
what first attracted you to Mr. Hobson?
Is that a serious one?
Now, this is the funny one.
Oh, that was a funny one. You know, this is funny.
Can I say his stamina?
This is so funny. Our path almost came across many occasions before we actually met.
Oh, yeah.
And so finally, because ballet world is very small, so we have like common friend, and I actually was watching the production when he was in the orchestra pit.
Oh, yeah.
Before I knew
Yeah.
him. So all this, but we never met. And then eventually when I met him, I was 34, you were 29. And I must say, if I did meet Chris when he was in early 20s, I don't think we got married.
No, we wouldn't have dated.
But
Go on.
to answer seriously, is it a funny question?
Yeah.
Oh, so I shouldn't answer seriously then.
Do both. Do a funny one and a serious one. You're always good at throwing me under the bus.
If I can be very like honest,
They were really in need of a pianist. So when Chris walked in the room, she threw her arms around him.
Well, we had one pianist less, so
Yeah.
I was literally back to back from 8:30 to God knows what time, and I was really tired. But if I can be a bit honest, I thought he was amazing pianist,
Oh.
and I think I
Talent
fell in love-
boner.
Yeah, not his look.
Get that on a t-shirt. His fingers, not his looks.
David, do you want a funny one or a serious one?
Oh my goodness. Funny.
We're going for the funny one because the
Yeah.
serious one's been asked.
All right.
As a dancer, have you had any like disasters on stage?
Loads.
Well,
loads.
give us some.
What was?
Have you ever forgotten choreography?
Yes. When my first experience of being on the stage, what we were doing, I think we were doing Pineapple Pollen. I've just literally joined the company very recently, and I've only had stage fright twice, once at the beginning and once at the end. So I was doing Pineapple Pollen, and I did my entrance, and I practiced and everything, and it just got on, and it was just the expanse of being in front of the audience, and I just went blank, and you have no control over it at all. And this is what happened at the end as well. And luckily, I had a lovely guy in the company, Mark Welford. You're there, darling. if you're listening, yes, I'm forever grateful. He actually taught me through as he was dancing.
Wow.
He taught me the steps as we were doing it, and that's what
Wow.
got me through.
Wow.
He was amazing, Mark.
We'll find him and tag
Yes,
him.
he was
Yeah.
brilliant.
Were you in trouble afterwards?
No,
No.
because he taught me through so well that
Yeah.
not many people knew. But I was very
survived.
grateful for. And at the very end of my career, I was doing a contemporary piece, and I was mostly why I wanted to go into psychology is because there is a pressure of who are you after you finish dancing, and I was in that passage of doing that thing, and I was for a friend. I stepped in for a friend, and I did the same thing. I got in front of the audience, and I had no idea what I was doing, and I just repeated and repeated the same sequence. I don't know how many times with the whole solo that I did. And I came off and I was an absolute basket case afterwards because I just lost it.
I thought you were going to say basket case.
So those were my two moments when I just completely lost it. Yeah, that was weird.
Akiko, do you want to ask a question to your friends around the
Sorry,
table?
before that, I've got this.
Oh, yes.
Is it glitter?
I've got glitter on me.
Star.
Sparkly.
Yay.
Go on, Akiko. Lob one out.
Well, the question to everybody.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't know. It doesn't apply for David.
It's all right.
What's the most weirdest musicality or some like tempo, whatever exercise you given in a class that you went like, oh my God?
Oh, that's a very pregnant pause, isn't it?
Ooh.
I've had weird ones like coders where the teachers wanted a coda, but it's more polka feel, but they want the coda tune. But it's ended up really slow. So you're effectively, if you're doing the Don Q coda, dun, 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 dun. I was like, well, I've got so much better repertoire that I could play for this and better feels that I could do that's going to support it better. But I've been asked for a slow coda a couple of times and I don't like the slow coda. That doesn't sit well with me.
Yeah, that's a good one, actually. Slower coders. Because they have a natural tempo,
Yeah.
don't they?
Or there was a class, I don't know when it was last year or something like that at some point, where the whole Allegro section from medium Allegro through to Grand Allegro for about 15 minutes was marches. There was no waltzes. There was no deviation. Everything was a march. And then when the teacher set something, and I knew full well that he wanted a march, I'd just try and slip in a waltz. And he'd like, oh, no, Maestro, what you played before, that's perfect. But there was about 15 minutes of marches. And when
my gosh.
And then, at the end, there was another pianist who was nearby. And it says, bloody hell, Hobson, I didn't know you had so many marches.
Did you play funeral march at the end?
I didn't play funeral march, but I felt like funeral march when I walked off. It worked, but that wasn't my best work in any way, shape, or form.
Maybe David, have you ever given a weirdest musicality exercise in the past?
I have. When I was at the Royal Ballet School doing my teacher's course.
The original course.
The original course. Yes, the original course.
David's an OG.
The director of the course then, Valerie Adams, lovely Valerie Adams, very old school. She taught us this grand battement en cloche exercise, which was not one time signature. It kind of like it combined a 3/4 and a 2/4. And when I'm trying, and often I'll admit this now, if I'm trying to test out how good a pianist is, I'll throw it at them.
Can you sing it for us?
Yeah, I don't think you've done to us.
You have to. David has, yeah.
I don't remember.
I've had it with
1
David.
2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 3.
It's never
That's
done
what I
that to
threw
me. Don't ever think about it.
No, you give an idea
Because
to all
it's
the ballet teachers
fascinating
now.
what comes out.
Yeah.
It's always fascinating. But it's very challenging.
And if you're not
Yeah.
expecting that as a ballet pianist, it's going to catch you
Yeah.
off.
So normally I would say before we go to class, this is what I'm going to ask you to do.
Yeah,
that's
So
a
I
very
give them
good
time
idea.
to do something. But it sorts people out.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Anita sang a Cicchetti adage at me, and it
At
wasn't.
you.
Yeah, and it wasn't in 4/4 or 2/4 or 3/4. It was in a crazy weird time signature, and because she was sort of semi-singing it, I couldn't get a grasp of what it was, and of course, what I played just did not work, and she couldn't tell me what the time signature was. She was just singing bits of it, and it was awful.
Did you get the music afterwards?
No, she hasn't done it since.
Maybe because you have one. No?
Maybe. We'll have a look.
My weirdest one was the Moonlight Sonata.
Oh yes, I know what you're gonna say.
Yes.
I was asked to play a Moonlight Sonata for
That's going to
Second
explode.
movement.
yeah. No,
First
First
one.
one.
Dum, dum, dum. Yeah.
Oh, is that the first one?
yeah, the bar Grand Batman.
Oh.
And the teacher marked da, 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 da. And I couldn't believe my eyes, but that's what she wants. So I literally went da, da, da. And everybody was
Oh, no.
Wow.
yes.
How painful.
But I spoke with one of the pianists I knew, and he said he got that from the same teacher. So it must be her thing.
That was just her thing.
That music though doesn't have any energy of Grand
No.
Batman.
yeah.
Not at all.
Yeah.
It's not even got a port de bras energy.
Wow.
It's got funereal energy.
Definitely. Gentlemen, somebody ask a question.
Chris, do you want a funny one or a serious one?
I'll go serious for this one.
No, you won't.
Okay.
That was a good choice.
Go on, love.
Since its inception,
Yes.
how much money do you think you've spent on podcast equipment?
Oh, you
Right in front of Mrs. Hobson.
you absolute. Right. It's my money, so
Should I
keep it.
close my ears?
Turn her headphones down.
Okay, can you hear anything, Nikika? Right. Honestly, probably it's well in four figures.
Well, yeah.
But which side of four figures?
Yeah.
Sorry, I can hear you.
It's probably about, I don't know, about five and a half grand something like that, on gear since we started.
It's very nice gear.
It's lovely gear.
It's better than the BBC.
It is.
It's the best.
Chris, I'm
bespoke.
still waiting for my emerald ring.
Thanks, Matt.
So you're spending more of, like, we don't get any money on this.
No, this is my hobby. But I mean, like people like go to the Nuremberg Ring with a 10 grand car, or they spend thousands of pounds on golf clubs or watches or things like that. So this is my hobby. This is what I love. This is what I'm passionate about. That and my children and occasionally my wife.
So is it my emerald ring not your hobby?
No, that's your hobby.
Yeah, but
It's your birthday coming up, and so now you know.
David, do you want to ask a question so that these gets can stop throwing me under the bus, please?
If you had a superpower, what would it be?
oh my god.
Right, I would have more sex. No. I think genuinely the first one that came into my head, and it was about the episode that we said about not knowing what's going to happen. I'd just like to be able to see 30 seconds into the future. If I could
Good
do
one.
that,
Yeah.
I don't need to be there. I don't need to, move through time. I would just like to be able to see 30 seconds
Yeah.
into the future,
Yeah.
That's fascinating.
because then I'd know if what I was going to do would actually work. And then that would negate some of that sort of trepidity and slight
Yeah.
anxiety that we still all get after,
Yeah.
2 decades of doing it. That would negate that. So I would love that if that was possible.
Mine would be teleportation.
Wow.
Because
really?
when you come back from the
Yeah.
north and you get off at Euston and you've got to get on the tube with your suitcase, I just want to go bing, I'm in my house. Or if you finish one ballet class somewhere and you've got to get across London, you just want to be there.
I mean, you do travel a lot as a freelance.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I travel all over, so I'd like to be able to just be there.
Brilliant.
I did think about time travel,
Yeah.
but Chris said it. But I don't need a superpower, but I want bigger hand.
Oh.
Really?
I've got such a tiny hand.
Yeah.
And if I had a little bit bigger, I could play lots of things.
You play beautifully what you're talking about.
Yeah, but it's, like stuff that I really have to practice so long. And then if you had a bit bigger hand, it's a bit easier, I
we
think.
love the way you play.
But yeah, hands.
Thank you.
Elton John's got sausage fingers. So no, yours aren't sausage fingers, but he's got like
He's got
little
relatively
stumpy
small hands.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen the video on YouTube? It's so many years old. It must be about 15. Rachmaninoff has big hands.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Okay, right. Listeners, viewers, YouTube search Rachmaninoff has big hands. And it's from
Fantastic.
our Little Nightmare Music. And it's
Yeah.
a duo of a pianist and a violinist who
violinist,
used to
yeah.
do a show. I think it was in Amsterdam or somewhere like that back in the day. It's hilarious.
Fantastic. They're great.
It's really worth spending
Right.
sort of 15 minutes just watching them if you want a bit of musical comedy. Right. I've got one for the table and the people around it. Right. What 3 words would you use to describe the person to your right? So I'm going to do Matt. Matt, do David. David, do Akiko. And Akiko, do me.
3 words.
Yes,
Like,
you have to
done,
describe
done.
this person in 3 words. Matt.
Intelligent, classy. Oh, sugar. 2's enough.
Two's enough.
David's classy beyond belief.
Yes.
Darling, thank you so much.
David, what would you do for Akiko?
Organised.
Oh, yes.
Ooh.
Very good.
Tiger Mom can take up 2.
Stunning.
Love
Funny.
you, David.
Just funny.
Right, I might have thrown myself under the bus here, but
You
Akiko,
did.
how would you describe the person next to you?
Do you really want to know it? Trouble. Trouble. Husband.
That's all right. And I think for Matt, I would go talented, passionate, and funny.
Yes.
Because you're one of my best friends and you are all of those things. You put all of those things into your classes and you bring it to friendship and to the podcast and everything like that. So that would be the 3 words that I would have to describe you as.
Can we get that on a t-shirt?
If I had 4, I would say ginger as well.
You need to make so many t-shirts now, no?
That's our little catchphrase,
It
isn't it?
is. Our online merch store is going to be huge.
Yay.
Akiko, have you remembered your question yet?
Yes. What is the most embarrassing thing you've done behind the piano? Like, I know one pianist fell asleep.
I once fell asleep in a pas de deux class in the Western Hemisphere, and it was
Did you?
Yes,
Really?
and it was a third year pas de deux class, and the teacher, who is also a good friend, was teaching. It was some big lift or something like that they were working on, and he taught the lift. He said to me at the start, this is what we're going to do. It'd be a 3/4, da 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 da. And they spent 50 minutes teaching it. So each lad had 2 girls, and they spent a long time literally just making sure no one was going to fall over and no one was going to die. And it was still summer, and I fell asleep.
Actually, the reason why I got this question is that this one of the pianists I know, he told me his story that, it was Wednesday afternoon at the top floor of our ballet school. Sun was shining. It was warm, and it was first year pas de deux class. They were talking, and I fell asleep. That's what he told me. And then he was kind of dozing, and then teacher was talking to the student, and suddenly he had this and. And then we have this reaction to the word and.
Yeah.
And apparently he just went like this. And he had no idea what he was doing, but he was literally went on the piano like this just to play. And apparently, and then he put the head up, and all the student and the teacher were looking at him.
Yeah.
And apparently it was and the teacher said in between the sentence. It wasn't the and to start the music.
The and is the thing though, because I did something similar this week. I was in a ballet class, and my concentration maybe drifted momentarily. Thank you, friends on the other side of the table. This might be the last ever episode. And I think the teacher had asked 2 students to mark the exercise that they'd done the day before, and she went, and I hadn't heard that bit because I was coffeeing or I was doing something else. So I just started playing, and I looked at, I was like, oh, no one's moving. And she looked, she's like, oh, it's okay, carry on.
I mean, for me as well, it's not the most embarrassing thing, but it's quite embarrassing when you don't stop.
Oh, yes.
And they don't stop you until because they think you're going to look up and realise, and you don't. You keep playing. It's like, why haven't you stopped me for 8 bars? Just let me carry on making a of myself.
Oh God, I once did an arrangement, I thought I'd done a really good sort of piano funky version of Can That Boy Foxtrot, the Sondheim song. And what I hadn't done was fully square it off. So I think I'd missed out like 16 bars or something like that. So it worked and it was in the right sections, but it wasn't 64 bars in length or something, 128 bars or whatever it was. So I stopped and everything was still going because I'd done this massive ending with a big glissando.
Gosh.
And it didn't go down well. That was in an audition class as well.
Whoops.
David, it can't be that bad because you were there and you don't remember. Thankfully. That was quite embarrassing.
Did anybody fart?
Oh, all the time.
Oh, all the time.
No.
Not audibly.
Never fought. No. I don't know.
Well, because we're teaching or we're playing back to back, aren't we? All the
Yeah.
time. Often there's no time to go to the loo, is there?
Yeah, but it's I don't do often, but I've done you.
It's
But
unavoidable.
the time when you did it, the dancer comes to
There's
the
always
piano.
a dancer comes in. Yeah.
I make sure that it's safe, and then the dancer is so far away. And the moment they come this way.
Got one for Mrs. H.
I do actually.
Sorry.
Mrs. H, what's my question?
Serious one, this one.
Oh yeah, this is your serious one. How do you cope, when you're put on the spot with repertoire?
Oh gosh.
Because you said recently you've been made the number 2 on something.
Oh yeah.
And so would you have to just jump on in a rehearsal without you've not had weeks to look at
I
it?
played before,
Yeah.
so but I had a few occasions
Where you've just been asked to Like that, for example, when the RBS filmed the Pianist Day and you didn't know you were playing that rep, but then you were recorded as well.
Yeah. I mean, those I played before, so I kind of know it.
Yeah.
I just never, haven't practiced, but I know. But there was few occasions that I actually didn't know it. I was like, oh my gosh. And I think normally if it's your like full-time employed environment and if you have to have that situation, you probably don't need to play because, they should have informed you.
Yeah.
But if you're a freelancer, which I was when I was very young, and I still remember, I think I told you this, David, I went to play for a class and a few rep class, that's what I was told. And, most of the rep class, either I played before or it's sight readable, even if you don't know the step. But the teacher actually came to me and said, I don't think you can sight read this. So if you can't sight read, just don't worry about it. So I said, well, I'm here anyway. I'll have a go. And then I regretted I'm saying that.
Was this at Central?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was given the score of Rex Progress.
Yeah.
That's hard.
The betting scene.
Yeah, it's really hard.
And it's so fast and just keep going. And I did give a good go. I don't know how accurate it was, but teacher appreciated me and I didn't cause a disaster. But you are just nervous, aren't you?
Yeah.
And also, you don't have capacities. If the music is that difficult and you don't have capacity to feel what's going on in the studio, so you literally sight reading.
Yeah.
So I don't like it. And then if you are on that spot, you just have to do it.
Put your big boy pants on and get on with it.
Yeah.
And sometimes it happens in the job, doesn't it?
Yeah, you just have to do it. And then you just have to do your best and then hope for the best. And then it might be a disaster, but, you just have to do it, I guess. But hopefully, teachers, it's better to inform the pianist. Even a day before. So
forewarned is always forearmed, isn't it? It's always better. David, do you want to finish us off with one last question to the table and the people around it?
For musicians then, what would your advice be to teachers? What would your golden bit of advice be or question?
Can I say?
Yes, please.
It might go against all these teachers training thing and things, but you don't need to be particularly too creative about musicality.
Yeah.
Just be simple and sing the tune that you want.
Use your voice.
Yeah.
I think that's like,
And you don't. It doesn't need to be. It doesn't need to be so complicated.
Right. Thank you.
Yeah, let the musician bring the music sometimes, isn't it, I suppose?
Yeah.
Like I'd imagine, I mean, I'm sorry, I'm piggybacking on your answer now, but it's like, I think the teacher needs to give the pianist the framework or the outline and then let the pianist bring the colour and the final design musically. I think it's like you said, I think we can bring something that, because we have, I mean, usually the pianist has got a much sort of bigger repertoire and musical knowledge than the teacher simply, in the same way that we don't have that balletic knowledge. So, utilize your pianist as much as you can and use their experience and understanding. My thing I would like all teachers to do, and most teachers are very good, but not everybody, is to be as adaptable and as understanding as possible, because then we're all going to have the best time and it's going to be the best class, not an average class or a mediocre class. And if it's not exactly what you want, but it still works, then it's okay, because the next exercise will be different and each exercise is only a minute long. So that's it. Just don't pull a face if it's not the right tune or if it's something else.
my bit of advice would be, and we've said this before, not everything has to be golden.
Yeah.
That's okay. You can go in there and over choreograph and ask for this music and ask for that and, put all this out there and it just not work for you.
Yeah.
Not everything has to be golden. As you say, don't overcomplicate things.
And remember pianist's name, yeah?
There's so much in a name. Names are everything.
Yeah. I wonder if any pianist is actually going to use maestro as their pronouns.
Imagine email you
Email maestro / maestro.
That's what I put on my landing card.
Right, listen, on that note, we're going to say goodbye. Thank you so much for joining us throughout 2024. Because, I think we've done 27, 28 episodes this year, released weekly since the start of March. And we've enjoyed every single one of them. There's been some fantastic conversations, some fun roundtables. They started off on the sofa and then I realised that was a bad idea. Podcast producing head on. Yeah, no, it's been a pleasure taking you on this journey with us. But please stay in contact with us on the social medias at Ballet Piano Podcast, and we'll keep stuff coming up on there. We're always available to respond to your emails on our email address, which is balletpianopodcast@gmail.com. And I'm guessing when we've enjoyed our summer and our autumn, we're going to recuperate, come up with some more ideas, some more things to chat about. And we'll be back in 2025 with some more fun episodes for you.
I feel like I'm
God,
so
I'm
old.
40 in that year.
So, listeners, it's been an absolute honor coming in your ears for so many months. For now, it is goodbye from me.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.